Let's create a new folder here for our demo purpose. Let's say learn node, right? So I have opened a new workspace location in the Visual Studio Code. You can do the same thing in any of the editors which you're using, right? Let's write a simple program now and let's see how it works in Node. Right? So I say console.log of the very famous hello world, right? So to run this program on Node, go to View, Terminal, and you can run the program node space app.js. Node is the word and app.js is the file name which you will have to use to run the program. So there you go, hello world, right? So this is the most basic program which we have run on Node. Now, since I think all of us will be aware about the basic JavaScript concepts like variables or objects, etc., I'm going to touch upon one idea of a function, and then we'll go ahead with the other concepts of Node. So I'm going to talk about functions now. So how do we write a function? Function space say hi, and then I say console.log of hi. So how do I call this function now? Say hi, or rather let me call it as hi itself, right? So let's see what is my output. There you go, you get hi, right? Now, like any other object or variable, you can also pass function as a parameter to another function, right? So let me demonstrate that to you. I can say function space log message, and my function takes an argument which is another function f, right? And I can call that function like this. So how do I call log message now? I can say log message of hi. Hi is the function which I'm passing as a parameter to the function log message. Now let's run the function and see what happens. Hi. So I have written a function which I have passed as an input to another function, right? So these are called first class functions. So functions are all first class in JavaScript. You will be able to pass functions as argument to another function. Now functions can also be written as expressions. How can we write functions as expressions? So I can say function space hi, and I can say console dot log of hi, and I can assign this function as an expression to a variable called message, right? Now, so var m is equal to this. So these functions are exposed as expressions, and these are functional constructors, right? So you have to create an object of it in order to invoke it, right? So this is another thing which we will need to know before we step into the other concepts, right? So we have written only like 4 or 5 lines of code, right? Now what if I have another file called main.js, and I want to use the methods here in main.js. So how can I expose the methods here to the main? right? So let's go back to our app and let us say I want to use this message here. So what will I do? We will have to import the module. This is the module which I will have to import into main, right? So this is like other import statements which you actually use in C or C++ or Java, right? And if you have to reference any variables or objects which are in other files, you'll have to import those files or jars into your file. So same is the case here. So now in order to use it, we first have to export this into the other file. So let's first export module dot exports equal to I say message. Now I have exported this to use in other modules. Now I will have to say require of, and I have to give the path where I can use the, from where I have to fetch the module. So dot slash represents that I have to search in the current folder where my main.js is, and I can say dot slash app. Let's try to use this msg variable. So I can say message equal to new msg of, right? Let's run it. You can see hi, right? So I have created a module, I've exported the module, and I have used the module in other file. So let's go back and see what is a module. A module is a reusable block of code which will not cause any accidental impact. Like it can lie anywhere in your application, but it should not accidentally impact anything that happens in your application. This simplifies the creation of many complex applications. So it is like you write a huge chunk of code and then you try to modularize your code by putting them into different files. Each module has its own context. It cannot interfere with the context of other modules, or it cannot interfere with the global context or the global scope. So these are modules. We've already seen the terminologies, first class functions and function expressions. Let's look at immediately invoked function expressions in a while. Let's look at what are exports. So like we saw, exports are nothing but exposing the variables or functions or objects in a module to outside the module, right? So there are many patterns in exports, right? So we have seen couple of patterns now, right? So this is one of the pattern, right? So I can also say where msg, sorry, not msg, so I'll rename this to where hi, and I'll say where hello equal to function hello, and I can say console.log of hello, right? So I want to export, I can choose to export what I want to export from a module. I can either export only hi, or I can export both hi and hello, right? So let me export both now, right? So I can say I want to export the method hi, and I want to export the function hello in the name of hi, in the name of hello, right? So this is how I have exported both, right? So let's see what happens here. I can say j dot, I can say hello, right? So, and I can also say msg dot hi, right? So let's see what happens. I get hello and hi. So there are various patterns in which I can export a module to be used in another module, right? These are the module export patterns. So what is require? Require is to import a module. Require is a function which is used to import a module in another module. So what does require take as argument? It takes as argument either a native module's name, which can be as HTTP, or it can be a util, or it can take the path in case of a custom module. Let's see what it is, right? So this is a custom module dot slash app. Now let's see how to import a native module. I can say HTTP and I can say require of HTTP. So this is how I invoke a native module, right? So there is another use case to it. Let's see, I have a user JSON here. Let me try to import this users JSON here. Right? So I can say dot slash user dot JSON, right? And let's see, console dot log of users. You can see that, right? So JSON file is parsed to form a JSON object. So you can see here, I can say users of 1 or users 2, and it will print me that particular user. So what this means is the JSON file which is imported has been parsed into a JSON object by the require function. So you can require a custom module, or you can require a native module by specifying the name of the native JS file, or you can also require a JSON and parse it to form a JSON literal, right? So this is the most important three concepts in module exports and require.